Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Saturday, October 30th, at 3:25 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 687 headlines from 106 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Killed in seconds, why did the FBI shoot Jonathan Cortez in an Oakland corner store? A dog show was shut down after a mass brawl broke out. Footage shows attendees throwing chairs and hurling punches. I ran for office as a Republican in Virginia, but now I'm voting for the Democratic candidate for governor because the GOP has lost its way. Major League Baseball breaks tradition, introduces robot umpires to call games. Bill Gates celebrated his 66th birthday with Jeff Bezos at an intimate party in a secluded Turkish cove, reports say. Trump wants call logs, aides notes hidden from January 6 panel. GOP Rep Jim Jordan's dysfunction wine gets flipped back on him. How Let's Go Brandon became code for insulting Joe Biden. Melo shoots Lakers to third win in 4, 113-101 over Cavaliers. Supreme Court Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett side with liberal justices, decline to block Maine's vaccine mandate for health workers with religious objections. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Hebrew speakers mock Facebook's corporate rebrand to Meta, CNN. World Series score, Braves take Game 3 over Astros and nearly throw no-hitter in shutout win, CBSSports.com. MSU vs. Michigan football, college game day, big noon kickoff on campus, Lansing State Journal. Pramila Jayapal is one of the most powerful leaders on Capitol Hill right now, CNN. Trump lawyer John Eastman said GERD in the spine would help Pence send election to the House in comments before January 6, CNN. Macron, Britain's resolution to fishing disagreement a test of country's credibility. The Hill. Ethiopia's strategic town of Dessie captured by rebel forces, Al Jazeera English. Biden finds raising corporate tax rates easier abroad than at home, The New York Times. Parents should be patient about getting COVID vaccines for kids, White House says, NPR. A signal from the stars was actually from Earth, NPR. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Car believed to belong to woman missing since 1998 found with human remains inside. Coup memo lawyer ripped Mike Pence as he hid from January 6 hanging mob, report. Here's why I proudly over-explain just about everything to my teen daughter. The pharmacies giving ivermectin to people bamboozled by right-wing misinformation. Lincoln Project claims credit for iffy tiki torch stunt in Virginia. How Joe Biden's big gamble on the child tax credit could pay off, or blow up in Dems' faces. Idris Elba says Dijon royal wedding was most stressful dig. Stolen Elvis Presley bust makes mystery return to Illinois bar. Colbert jabs anti-vaxxers with blood-sucking Halloween card. Joy Reid makes nightmare prediction about Trump for Halloween. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Parents remember son 6 years on. Stepmom of boy found dead arrested. Man gets new lease on life after heart procedure. Historic mansion haunts school campus. Crews converge on TX after thousands lose power. Father-son create conveyor belt for Halloween. Gunshots interrupt presser on crime held by St. Louis, Kansas City mayors. PD, man spat, yelled racial slurs over mask. Alleged attack by squeegee kid injures woman. Former NYPD cop sentenced in murder for hire plot. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. COVID shots are a go for children, but parents are reluctant to consent. Some residents taking fighting wildfires into their own hands. Protesters killed in Sudan on day seen as a litmus test for the military. Vaccinations rise sharply among key New York workers as mandate arrives. Leaders gather to take on climate change and vaccine access. On Virginia's election and a battle that has already been lost. Slow-moving storm brings heavy flooding to Mid-Atlantic. Biden finds raising corporate tax rates easier abroad than at home. Weather delays SpaceX launch of Crew 3 astronauts for NASA. What if it never gets easier to be a working parent? The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Youngkin supporters say family, education top priority in race for Virginia governor. Thousands of Air Force troops set to reject vaccine mandate. Stormy weather on tap for eastern U.S. McAuliffe raked in cash from donor who funded anti-vax effort, falsely calls Youngkin anti-vax. Reported Biden plan to pay illegal migrants $450K could surpass payments to some 9/11 military families. De Kock takes knee, South Africa bowls versus Sri Lanka at W Cup. Capitals hand Coyotes' 8th consecutive loss to start season. Banner night for Heat, who hang on and top Hornets 114-99. Panthers reach 8-0, winning first game without Quayneville. Halloween candy, how much is okay for kids to eat? You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Saturday, October 30th. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Jill Biden bonds with Carrie Johnson at G20 spouses luncheon. Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney attend first Wrexham home game after taking over the club. Boris Johnson warns the EU not to side with France in bitter fishing spat. Zayn Malik's tension with Yolanda Hadid sparked by star posting a snap of his daughter Kai. Father's appeal after son was killed in an unsafe 44. Stansted Airport is evacuated over suspicious package as passengers are ordered to leave terminal. Pantene delights fans as blind influencer Lucy Edwards is announced as a new brand ambassador. Boris Johnson has spoken to Queen as she works from desk after being told to rest for 2 weeks. Horrific video shows boy, 2, sob for his dad and scream no, as nanny force feeds him. Teenage drugs gang are jailed for 42 years after campaign of terror. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is The Washington Post World News Feed. G20 live updates, vaccine inequities morally unacceptable, Italian PM says. Kuwait evicts Lebanese envoy over minister comments on Yemen. LGBTQ Afghans land in Britain as Taliban official says no space for gay rights. Sudan security forces shoot dead 2 protesters, doctors say. How Russia pushed Moldova's pro-Western government to the brink of a gas crisis. Both his children were dying. Yemen's crisis forced him to choose only one to save. Protests sweep across Sudan as international backlash against coup intensifies. Syria, Israeli missiles hit the Damascus suburbs wounding troops. Army shelling in Myanmar blamed for setting 160 homes ablaze. India's Modi invites Pope to visit after 2017 plan collapsed. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Newcastle v Chelsea, Liverpool v Brighton, Clockwatch, Live. Sudan coup, hundreds of thousands march for democracy. Pro-vaccine Fox News host receives support from CNN anchor over death threats. MLS to hold independent inquiry of Whitecaps after Guardian investigation. Being an only child made me fascinated by siblings, and means I've had to learn to share my life. Tourists marvel at ancient Rome's party town, now buried by the sea. Memory lanes, Google's map of our lives. Aaron Ramsdale excels as Arsenal beat Leicester to extend unbeaten streak. Maryland lawmaker fined for taking video meetings from operating room. Prince Andrew asks U.S. judge to dismiss lawsuit alleging sexual abuse. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. UN, U.S. to Sudan military, show restraint during protests. G20 opens with call for more vaccines for poor countries. Syria says Israel fired missiles towards suburbs of Damascus. State increases police presence at malls over potential threats. California governor abruptly skips UN climate conference. Big, messy, complicated, Biden's plan turns in Congress. Supreme Court declines to block Maine vaccine mandate. Firefighters threaten state senators' staff over vaccine mandate while on duty. Queen Elizabeth II advised to rest for 2 weeks. Overwhelming evidence in sex crime case against former New York Governor Cuomo, sheriff. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Japan undersea volcano, artist tries to swim in floating pumice stone. Sudan coup, thousands take to streets in new protests. La Palma volcano survivors shaken but determined to rebuild. Indian PM Narendra Modi invites Pope for visit. G20, climate and COVID top agenda as world leaders meet. Saudi Arabia expels Lebanon ambassador Ahmed Yemen. COP26, what do the poorest countries want from climate summit? Ancient wooden Mayan canoe unearthed almost intact in Mexico. Tonga records first coronavirus case and start of pandemic. The Rolling Stones, robot dog spot shares Mick Jagger's moves. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Long drives and limited options, Indigenous women with breast cancer face harsh reality. Jury selection process slow and complex in death of Ahmaud Arbery trial. Thousands of NYC workers still refusing vaccine despite mandate. Vaccines protect more than infection, study says. Live COVID updates. From NASA to Blue Origin, the cutting-edge space industry has old problems, sexism and harassment. Get to know the Lake Michigan Triangle, the site of unexplained shipwrecks, disappearances dating back to the 1800s. Northern Virginia police increase presence at shopping centers amid unspecified threats on Halloween weekend. Celebrate National Cat Day with these curious Persian kittens playing with a new toy. Under Biden's new budget offer, Choice neighborhood grants for affordable housing could be expanded to more cities. Alex murder saga involving death, drugs and more has attracted a cult-like true crime following. FDA authorizes Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for kids 5-11. Florida sues Biden administration over vaccines. Latest COVID-19 updates. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. A California town refused to help its neighbors with water, so the state stepped in. After months of decline, coronavirus cases plateau in California. Can we avoid a new surge? Pasadena man sentenced to more than 16 years in kidnapping of luxury car dealer. USC admits to troubling delay in warning about fraternity drugging, sex assault reports. Inglewood police officer arrested, faces federal drug trafficking charges. Los Angeles Police Union sues city over rollout of COVID-19 vaccination mandate. Pumping Iron filmmaker George Butler, who helped make Arnold Schwarzenegger a star and a governor, dies. Sean Penn's core group faces labor charges over impassioned internal email. Billionaire Marc Andreessen buys Malibu mansion for $177 million, a California record. In-N-Out Burger closes all of its Contra Costa County indoor dining rooms over local vaccine mandates. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Saturday, October 30th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More from other news sources is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. Spanish government to ban advertising aimed at children of unhealthy foods such as chocolate, juices and ice creams. Trudeau files last-ditch appeal against billions for indigenous children. Tigrayan rebel forces seize strategic town in Ethiopia. Largest earthquake recorded since La Palma volcano eruption. G20 leaders endorse global minimum corporate tax deal for 2023 start. The death toll of Europe's heat waves. Preliminary data shows thousands of excess heat-related deaths across the Mediterranean. Flemish climate monitoring panel call for a livestock reduction of 23 million chickens and 1.7 million pigs so that Belgium can meet its climate targets. India plans to make green energy use mandatory for industries, reports Bloomberg. Climate experts warn world leaders 1.5C is real science, not just talking point. Huge solar flare erupts from sun, may disrupt satellites, communication. Britain will launch a $220 million fund to develop floating wind farm technology as part of efforts to ramp up renewable power. Lawyers aim to force Scotland to investigate Trump golf course. Britain rescues over a dozen LGBT Afghans. Release Afghan money or face mass migration, Taliban warns Europe, CGTN. The next headlines are from Forbes. The 5 best Netflix horror movies for Halloween consumption, 2021 edition. The Grand Ole Opry celebrates historic 5,000th Saturday night broadcast tonight. FC Barcelona, why Xavi and Laporta will have fewer excuses. Inside the defensive mentality of Thunder guard Lou Dort. Jaron Boots Ennis vs Thomas Dulorme, odds, records, prediction. The 2021 to 2022 Boston Celtics are playing a lot like the 2020 to 2021 Celtics. Fresh take, finding an oyster, a rare criminal trial, and a $35 billion flavor and fragrance company you've probably never heard of. Inside the company making bean-to-bar chocolate magic in Iceland. FC Barcelona vs Alaves, preview and team news. The highest paid dead celebrities 2021. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Abdul Qadir Khan, 1936 to 2021. Common antidepressant slashes risk of COVID death. When you recommend someone for an opportunity, follow through. The search for people who never get COVID. Coronapod, China's crucial COVID vaccines start to falter. Beware of rainbows. The faint little galaxies that could shed light on the early cosmos. Curbing fossil fuels and a look inside cells, the week in infographics. How sleep misperception fools people into thinking they don't sleep. Scientists' fears of racial bias surge amid U.S. crackdown on China ties. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,741,387,336 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Ted Lasso star Phil Dunster says Season 3 to begin shooting end of January. Non-fiction producers and directors talk how to make docs pop in crowded marketplace. Squid Game baby costumes are among the #1 top trending Halloween searches. Tokyo Film Festival opening is held in person, as low-key event masks multiple changes. Dedicated K-pop arena starts construction in Seoul. Black Magic spices up return of HBO's Folklore to Tokyo Film Festival. WGA tells members not to work for Germany's Constant Film. The Go-Go's recall Night of Tailing Queen's Freddie Mercury, tease surprises ahead of Rock Wall of Fame induction. WME Music co-head exits, bound for Utah. Netflix employees who protested Dave Chappelle's special file unfair labor charge against streamer. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. The G20 gets together for the first time since the pandemic. Here's what you missed. For 51 years this killer whale has lived in a tiny tank. Now her health is at risk. From a place of privilege, she speaks the truth about climate to power. Parents should be patient about getting COVID vaccines for kids, White House says. Scientists tracked a mysterious signal in space. Its source was closer to Australia. Germany debates how to form gender-neutral words out of its gendered language. The Strawberry Pop-Tart case is just one of more than 400 lawsuits he has filed. Detainees who earned just $1 a day are owed $17 million in back pay, a jury says. Astronaut launches are returning to the U.S. for each. This family sends NASA roses. PETA wants MLB to rename the bullpen to Arm Barn. The following headlines are from The Week. How Trump has dodged social media bans to amass a staggering war chest. Supreme Court declines to block Maine vaccine mandate for healthcare workers. Oklahoma to continue lethal injections after inmate vomits during execution. G20 leaders back global minimum tax. 6 beautiful homes in downtown areas. Is workplace passion overrated? 5 scarily funny cartoons about the evils of Facebook. How do you solve a problem like Facebook? Supreme Court to consider case that could block the EPA from limiting greenhouse gases. FDA issues transformative authorization of Pfizer's COVID vaccine for children ages 5 to 11. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Quick action let Hubble watch the earliest stages of an unfolding supernova detonation. The sun blasted out a huge flare in CME, we could see auroras on Halloween. Lightweight, flexible lens could be the future of space telescopes. These are the news headlines for today, Saturday, October 30th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. SpaceX's Crew 3 mission on schedule for October 31st launch. Goblin sharks, ghost crabs and vampire bats, oh my. Witchhead Nebula. Moon and Mercury November 1st, 2nd and 3rd before sunup. Venus at greatest elongation on October 29th. 100-million-year-old crab preserved in amber. X-flare yesterday, aurora alert this weekend. Algol is the demon star. The next news is from Politico. Kiss and make war, Macron and Biden patch up France-US relations. The next coronavirus wave in Europe. Why the COP26 climate summit won't save the planet. EU's Charles Michel, G20 needs more ambition in climate fight. What Civil War pensions can teach Dems about winning legislative strategy. Opinion meet the GOP insiders rebranding as bad boys of conservative talk. Dems race to renovate Biden's domestic policy foundation. The 5 key groups fueling Youngkin's rise. Call logs, speech drafts among records Trump is trying to block from January 6 investigators. How the country is going to move, Harris bids to nationalize governor's race at McAuliffe rally. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Morrison backs plan for more vaccines amid calls to extend AstraZeneca manufacturing. The Newsreader and Wakefield dominate nominations for Australian Academy of Cinema and Television Arts Awards. Prescribing ABC bias impairs independence. PM should take his cue from voters and support a strong federal ICAC. Your weekly horoscope for October 31, November 7th. High-flying VIPs forced to entertain themselves on Cup Day. Woollera is full, the battle to stop more homes in one of Sydney's wealthiest areas. University of Queensland finds 200-year-old vampire in its library. Turf wars erupt over the use of synthetic surfaces in parks. Teenage self-harm rises 40% as experts warn pandemic effects will linger. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Outside the box, here's the math for Tesla's stock price if it becomes the Apple of car makers. The number 1, this is the best candy to hand out on Halloween, and the absolute worst. MarketWatch first take, big tech is still headed for its biggest year ever, but Apple and Amazon could cut into profit. Earnings outlook, video game stocks are in the bargain bin, but earnings could mean new life. Tesla's valuation tops $1 trillion after Hertz's plan to buy 100,000 Tesla Fs. Dispatches from a pandemic, it's like being ripped into two, Chipotle workers overwhelmed by online orders and furious customers. Best new ideas and money, how Lowe's, Amazon and Target are helping small businesses get products onto their shelves. Here's how Congress wants to combat early withdrawals from retirement accounts. Booyah, Halloween spending expected to hit a record $10.14 billion this year. Should I use a 401k or an IRA to save for retirement, a traditional account or the Roth version? Here's what to know. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. TSA owes $100 million for copyright infringement on plastic security bins, Capitol Hill Times. Air Force licenses cyber patent for commercial use, military spot. Presidential number 28, TTAB sustains opposition to IAM the Mars generation for licensing services on ground of non-use, intellectual property, United States, Mondac News alerts. Symposium recap, security, privacy and innovation, reshaping law for the AI era, just security. Common types of insider threats that can cause breaches, Security Boulevard. SIR, rejects new IPR constitutional challenges, intellectual property, United States, Mondac News alerts. Executive order on promoting competition in the American economy, a focus on patent and drug law to reduce healthcare spending, intellectual property, United States, Mondac News alerts. Renowned researchers, policymakers, and academic leaders to converge in Tampa, FL for NI conference, Yahoo Finance. Can machines be inventors, Lexology. Artificial Intelligence and IP, consultation on copyright and patents legislation, Gov UK. The next headlines are from Quartz. To save its image, Facebook is killing the metaverse. What does COP26 stand for and why it matters? Facebook knows what it's doing. The Federal Trade Commission wants to make it easier for you to cancel subscriptions. We are addressing vaccine hesitancy among pregnant women the wrong way. Last-minute Halloween costumes ripped from the headlines. Chip makers are threatening to scrap future U.S. factories without generous tax breaks. Sweet Green warns that remote work is a threat to its success. Which world leaders will, and won't, be at COP26? What Facebook could learn from Walmart. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Disbarment proceedings show how a Maryland prosecutor covered up an FBI agent's lies for more than 20 years. The faintest hint of regulatory accountability has Tesla acting like an adult. As prudes drive social media takedowns, museums embrace OnlyFans. Swiss court says Proton Mail isn't obligated to retain data on users. Everything you know about Section 230 is wrong, but why? Daily Deal, the 2021 all-in-one computer science bundle. NY Times continues its inability to report accurately on Section 230 and content moderation. Tired of federal apathy, Oakland moved to ban anti-competitive broadband landlord deals. Public records plumb the depths of Illinois law enforcement's accountability black hole. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Michigan versus Michigan State. Monster Mash. Aurora Borealis. Cavaliers versus Lakers. Braves. My Hero Academia, World Heroes Mission. Kristen Chenoweth. Colin Kaepernick. Tommy Fury. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. Ukrainian tennis starlet thrashes hosts Hero Raducanu, then admits it didn't feel nice to watch rival teen win US Open. The Mandas, vaccine passport to rules for public but not world leaders at COP26 spark outrage over dual COVID standards. Spat over English Channel fishing licenses damages UK's credibility, French President Macron. Climate catastrophe threatens the whole world, but politics and West's weaponization of sanctions could blunt COP26's effectiveness. Kuwait orders Lebanon's top diplomat to leave country in regional row over comments on Yemen. G20 leaders endorse deal on minimum corporate tax that could make rich states richer, but leave poor ones in the dust. Israeli missile strikes near Damascus leave 2 soldiers wounded, Syrian media. He tried to kiss and touch me, U.S. football bosses launch investigation after ex-player claims coach wanted to solicit sex from her. Internet model could face a year in jail as Russian cops probe raunchy but photo shoot opposite iconic St. Petersburg Cathedral. It's very sad, UK Climate Committee Chairman rips into Australia for doing little to combat climate change ahead of COP26. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Stop medical apartheid, police passive as huge crowd protests Australia's draconian pandemic powers bill. The bonfire of the Guernseys. Americans' biggest fear is corrupt government officials. Supreme Court declines to block main COVID-19 vaccine mandate for health workers. China to build special forces base in Tajikistan on Afghan border. Hands off, Viralficus accuses Zuckerberg of stealing meta name for Facebook. Biden gives Macron half apology in first meeting since August spat, what we did was clumsy. NATO sliding towards war against Russia and Ukraine. Humanity is sleepwalking towards medical apartheid. 85% of Afghans face food insecurity in upcoming winter. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. Ethiopia's strategic town of Dessie captured by rebel forces. Syria says Israel fired missiles towards Damascus suburbs. Arrests and defamation, Bollywood in the dock in Modi's India. Arab League concerned by deteriorating Lebanon Gulf ties. Pan-American Gateway to Hope. Aryan, Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan's son, released from jail. Ahead of COP26, Canada's oil industry fears new climate minister. China and the West can build a better world, together. World leaders to talk climate, economy, vaccines as G20 opens. 2 shot dead during nationwide protests against Sudan coup. The next headlines are from Breitbart. London Stansted Airport evacuated over suspicious package. 3 women found padlocked inside home in Vermont human trafficking incident. Pope Francis meets with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. France, police and firefighters attacked at school named after teacher murdered by jihadist. G20 meets in Rome ahead of COP26, discusses climate change and vaccines. France says Britain must be punished for Brexit, leaving EU should be more damaging than remaining. Johnson claims modern civilization is at risk over climate change. London's Khan calls for return of mandatory masks on public transport in UK. Allahu Akbar yelling man arrested after strangling woman on French street. Polish lawmakers back border wall with Belarus to stop surge of migrants. The next headlines are from UPI News. Man buys 20 identical lottery tickets, wins 20 times for $100,000 total. Watch, big snake found in bushes behind Chicago area home. Watch, California man wades into floodwaters to rescue drowning kitten. Sealed copy of Super Mario Bros. 2 sells for $88,550 in estate sale. Dutch University's rare penis plant blooms. Watch, Welsh woman's Harry Potter collection earns Guinness World Record. Watch, Japanese startup takes hoverbike for a spin around racetrack. Man spins football on his finger for 21.66 seconds, sets Guinness record. The following headlines are from Earth Files, updates on Earth and astronomical mysteries. Part 2, Army CIA unit studied the real UFO Blue Book cases. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Ryan Reynolds and Always Sunny star go to first match as new owners of football club, didn't expect to drink so much. They've turned a VW bus into a livable pontoon boat. Destroyed by fire, drought, and dust storms, these Australian marshes needed only 2 years to completely recover. Inaugural Balloon World Cup pits athletes diving in the living room to keep it aloft. Tap water produces a protective shield against microplastics, scientists discover. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Saturday, October 30th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Meet 104-year-old Chen Pingqing, the last living member of World War II's legendary Flying Tiger Squadron. Florida mom says she's been banned from volunteering at kids' school because she's on OnlyFans. Lauren Boebert's campaign mistakenly says, in fact filing, that she represents Utah. Mom banned as Orange Elementary School volunteer after anonymous letter reveals OnlyFans page. Virgin births, endangered California condors can reproduce without sex, study finds. Police, Halloween decorations on car were a little too scary. Roblox's servers are down and fans are blaming Chipotle. Naked and armed New Jersey mansion owner confronts would-be thief. Meta shares spike, but it's a Canadian materials company, not the rebranded Facebook. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. Turn any video or audio on your Mac into a savable file with this MP4 recorder bundle. How AI is driving powerful new Photoshop features and shaping Adobe's product strategy. How to send disappearing messages in every damn chat app. Face recognition in schools normalizes surveillance and threatens kids' privacy. Apple's explanation for no Face ID on the MacBook Pro is nonsense. Why flat earthers are a clear and present threat to an AI-powered society. This top-rated Mac app is how you can finally get that crazy workflow under control. What do people with infinity tattoos think of Meta's logo? Fixed versus detachable e-bike batteries, which one is right for you? This new $15 Raspberry Pi is like manna for at-home programming projects. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Cause of Alzheimer's progression in the brain. This squirrel watches its neighbor's back. Morro Bay seagrass loss causes change in fish populations. Innovative chip resolves quantum headache. High availability of fast food restaurants across all U.S. neighborhood types linked to higher rates of type 2 diabetes. Drones show promise in speeding up communication with underwater robots for ocean surveys. Linking the past and present, reconstructing the dragonfly and damselfly family tree. Why do humans possess a twisted birth canal? Researchers set ultra-broadband record with entangled photons. Meanders in riverbeds help the climate. The next headlines are from Information Week. Wi-Fi serve turn to microservices for API development. How DevSecOps adoption can help you gain a competitive advantage. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Saturday, October 30th from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA, National Geographic partner to show inside Artemis moon mission. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Tyson Stapley and Syracuse overpower Mountain Ridge to advance to quarterfinals. After COVID, Utah employees will see more flexibility in how and where they work. David Brooks, the self-isolation of the American left. She's in charge of the Solitude ski area, and she doesn't see a problem with crowds. Utah's defense has had problems, and they might not get better in 2021. The science of fear, why do people like being scared? Utah Supreme Court Justice Dino Jimenez retires, plans return to private sector. Bayou football feels it has enough offense to compete with high-octane Virginia. Bingham football uses explosive plays to advance in 6A playoffs. Police work to ID hit-and-run driver who struck 64-year-old in Mill Creek. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. What else do the leaked Facebook papers show? Vaccination offers better protection than previous COVID-19 infection. NASA wants your help improving Perseverance rover's AI. Juno reveals deep 3D structure of Jupiter's massive storms. A Colorado firm claims it can triple the power of electric engines. The U.S. government wants Signal's private user data that it simply doesn't have. Mastodon puts Trump's social network on notice for improperly using its code. U.S. intelligence concludes, China didn't weaponize COVID-19, didn't have foreknowledge. John Carmack issues some words of warning for Meta and its metaverse plans. Hive ransomware now encrypts Linux and FreeBSD systems. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Fiancé of Missouri man allegedly killed by ex's father takes fight for justice to TikTok. Normandy police officer struck on northbound I-170 Friday night. Governor, AG plan to stop federal vaccine mandates in Missouri. St. Charles County police search for missing 15-year-old girl. Missouri high school crowns first male student homecoming queen. These states are sending the most people to Missouri. Police need help identifying human remains found in North St. Louis County. Paula Sims, who was convicted of killing her daughters, was released from prison Friday. Lake St. Louis man charged in 2019 murder arrested in California. Mayor Jones doesn't flinch as gunshots ring out at press conference. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Trouble brewing, what local beer makers must do to keep taps flowing amid shortages. Future per mile road usage tax approved by Sandag Board to fund transit projects. Simply spooktacular, this San Diego family's Halloween house may haunt your dreams. CHP, pedestrian hit, killed while standing on freeway in South Bay. I just cannot keep up, residents weigh in on plan that could tax drivers per mile. Halloween in San Diego, events happening this weekend. Motorcyclist dies in Claremont Mesa area collision. Tribute to be held for Oceanside student who died suddenly from heart condition. Biden administration considering giving $450,000 per person to immigrants separated at border. Suspected DUI driver dies after swerving into truck near rural school. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. U.S. Navy releases new concept art of its future fighter jet. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. The Blonde, the Hong Kong TV series that defined a generation. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. San Francisco businesses prepare for outside lands crowds. CDC study, COVID vaccine stronger than natural immunity. For fun things, here's what's happening in the Bay Area. San Francisco's Castro district prepares for busy Halloween weekend. COVID-19 outbreak discovered at Berkeley High School. Pool guy arrested for killing Fresno family's dog released from jail. Crews respond to fire in San Francisco's Excelsior district. Veteran photo, flag returned to family after found on I-580 in Livermore, CHP. Rare view of northern lights possible for several states this Halloween weekend. List, Halloween events in the South Bay. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. Gummed up historic South Bend fountain getting repairs. UN calls for education in conflict, condemns attacks. Indiana AFL-CIO's top leaders re-elected at Labor Cup. This date in baseball. Bid considered to clear Alabama court records of King, Parks. Ramsdale heroics preserve Arsenal's 2-0 EPL win at Leicester. How different cultures cope with grief. Naperville Central ends Naperville North season in playoff opener. Jacobs makes believers of Hersey. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Washington officials, if you see this bug, report it immediately. City renames Thomas Street after Seattle Supersonics legend Lenny Wilkins. Look up, Western Washington could get a rare glimpse of the Aurora Borealis this weekend. City launches 16M Seattle Relief Fund, who qualifies, and how to apply. Halloween pub crawl, costumed races, ghostly shows and more happening in Seattle this weekend. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.5 m, depth 15.23 km, in Indonesia October 30, 2021, 11:11 UTC, 370,000 people within 100 kilometers. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.9 m, depth 10 km, in western Indian Antarctic Ridge October 30, 2021, 9:03 UTC, no people within 100 kilometers. Green earthquake alert, magnitude 5.5 m, depth 379.04 km, in Tonga October 30, 2021, 8:05 UTC, about 300 people within 100 kilometers. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Peru, Paraguay. Drought is ongoing in South Sudan. Drought is ongoing in Canada, United States. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo. Drought is ongoing in Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Somalia, Tanzania, Uganda. Drought is ongoing in United States. Drought is ongoing in Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Italy, Serbia. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Saturday, October 30th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Astros, Braves pens carry heavy workloads into World Series Game 4. Let's go Brandon, how a misheard chant became conservative code for insulting Joe Biden. SpaceX delays NASA astronaut flight to International Space Station due to rough wind, waves. Queen Elizabeth II advised to rest for 2 weeks, can continue to undertake light, desk-based duties. Is the COVID-19 vaccine safe for kids? 17-year-old hurt in shooting that killed woman in Southeast Houston home invasion. Texas sues the Biden administration over federal COVID-19 vaccine mandates. Court filing shows which documents Trump wants to keep secret from January 6 committee. Mother says son with special needs came home from school with inappropriate words written on neck. 3 officers hurt in Houston crash involving carjacking suspects. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. The latest, leaders find agreement on global tax deal. Ski resorts counting on a return to normal on the slopes. UK's Johnson says Queen Elizabeth on very good form. Biden, trio of European allies discuss Iran nuclear program. De Kock takes knee as South Africa beats Sri Lanka at W Cup. Powerline campaign is most expensive in Maine history. New Jersey voters deciding governor, legislature, questions. University students denounce use of Nazi symbols at protest. 2 women running for governor, history in post-Cuomo New York. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Fines for noisy, illegal mufflers and exhaust systems now raised to $1,000. Native New York re-examines the place of Native Americans beyond colonization. At Halloween Adventure in the East Village, business is booming for at least one more holiday. Former Governor Andrew Cuomo to appear in court November 17, sheriff says. Extra, mozzarella sticks never go out of style. Facing mandate, 15,000 NYC municipal workers get COVID vaccines, but twice as many holdouts remain. As Murphy, Cigarelli pitch post-pandemic future, labor shortage slows recovery. They're scared of talking about this issue. In suburban Nassau County, Democrats are steering away from criminal justice reform. NYPD officers begin filing for retirement ahead of COVID vaccine deadline. 60 years ago today, Bob Dylan kicked off his career with a made-up backstory for WNYC. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Traffickers abusing online technology, UN Crime Prevention Agency warns. First person, telling the tragic story of mercury poisoning in Japan. Combating energy poverty in Chile with community inclusion. Security Council adopts first-of-its-kind resolution on protecting classrooms from conflict. Ahead of Sudan protests, UN chief asks military to show restraint. World leaders urge to prioritize action on water and climate. From Taliban to Taliban, cycle of hope, despair on women's rights. With crisis deepening in Mali, UN top envoy says all is not lost. Any end to the suicidal war? Aye, more lethal gases and fewer, weaker sinks. Serious risk COP May 26 not deliver, warns Gooders, urging more climate action. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. 90% of Germans who haven't had the vaccine say they won't get it. Andrew Cuomo faces misdemeanor sex crime complaint. White people, you are the problem, AT&T's internal racial re-education program leaked. A distributed capacity for violence, a brief history of weapons technology and political power. Twitter censors trailer of upcoming documentary exposing anti-white racism. Death on Alec Baldwin set with Colt.45 to be investigated by law firm whose partners investigated Kennedy assassination, Lehman bankruptcy and Citigroup settlement. Next, 1,000 private jets will assemble in Davos to execute the Great Reset. Vaccinated people just as likely to spread the Delta variant as the unvaccinated, year-long study shows. Minnesota school board orders parents to announce their home address before speaking at public meeting despite risk of making them targets for violence. Julian Assange, a timeline of events. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Does this video show two fluids becoming unmixed? Watch, Pixar releases trailer for new Buzz Lightyear flick. What we know about the breast cancer vaccine. Is it okay to go trick-or-treating during the pandemic? Asian spider takes hold in Georgia, sends humans scurrying. Are these Halloweeners a genuine product? Did PETA ask MLB to rename Bullpen Arm Barn? With latest payout, Arizona sheriff has cost taxpayers $100 Rapper Fetty Wap arrested on federal drug charges in NYC. Decorating a cake with glitter? Check that it's edible. The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Bogus campaign signs in Virginia were not posted by McAuliffe or Democrats. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. This kettle is perfect for tea, ramen, and everything in between. You definitely need to know about Amazon's semi-secret online outlet. Weed is the jock's best bud. Don't believe it, ask a jock. The anti-white lotus giving voice to native Hawaiians and their colonialist struggle. Floods destroyed their homes, now insurmountable debt to sinking India's women farmers. Why didn't someone tell me about motherhood's dark side? The bizarre Buzz Lightyear political controversy making people lose their minds. Is the U.S. helping the January 6th rioters plan a sequel from behind bars? The cruel slut-shaming of Jada Pinkett Smith. The horror stories behind school that dissed 1619 project journalist. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Tyrann Mathieu goes after toxic Chiefs fan base in social media spat. California couple celebrates wedding at world's most beautiful Taco Bell. Kenai's truck fleet to be auctioned off, after he lists Wyoming ranch. Seinfeld's The Parking Garage is one of the few episodes that lives up to the premise. Will Smith says he thought about committing suicide, report. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. Snapshot Hubble spies a galactic jack-o'-lantern. Found, the first exoplanet outside of our Milky Way. The sky this week, catch some ghostly sights. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. FDA authorizes Pfizer COVID vaccine for kids 5 to 11. CBS and Originals presents Reverb Generation Climate. CBS and Originals presents Reverb A City Under Surveillance. FDA authorizes Pfizer's COVID vaccine for kids as young as 5. Scientists believe they've spotted first planet outside the Milky Way. The science of fear and why we seek it out. SpaceX readies Crew Dragon for Halloween launch. Millions of huge invasive spiders from Asia take hold in Georgia. California condors can have virgin births, study finds. How life could change with every uptick in the temperature. The following headlines are from alienUFOsightings.com. Top 10 questions I'd ask an alien from the Galactic Federation. Here are 5 things serious scientists believe about extraterrestrial life. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. Elvis bust returned, without explanation, to Illinois bar it was stolen from. Tropicana creates orange juice-friendly toothpaste. Parts of U.S. may see northern lights on Saturday. Federal judges uphold New York COVID-19 vaccination mandate for healthcare workers. Indian movie star Puneeth Rajkumar dies after heart attack. Invasive spider from Asia taking over North Georgia. Attorney General Tish James officially enters New York governor's race. Adam Kinzinger will not seek re-election, but says his political career is just getting started. NY elects Governor Hochul, Eric Adams react to criminal groping charges against Cuomo. Albany sheriff defends forcible touching charges against former New York Governor Cuomo. The following headlines are from military.com. U.S. too deep in relations with Taiwan in face of China tensions. Prisoner gives Guantanamo court first account of Central Intelligence Agency abuse. Biden versus Macron, first meeting since submarine dispute. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. 2 slain in Avondale, at least 7 others wounded in city shootings since late Friday afternoon, police say. Chicago gets 5 casino proposals, including from Bally's, Hard Rock and Rivers Casino co-owners. Bilingual theater program in suburban high school embraces growing Latino community, presents world premiere. Betting on in-state college sports teams approved by Illinois lawmakers over objections from school athletic directors. Illinois legislators pass COVID-19 administrative leave for school employees, but Pritzker is not a fan. Chicago's vaccine mandate survives 2 challenges Friday as U.S. judge and city council refuse to push shot requirement. Fallout of new Illinois congressional map was swift, forcing some incumbents to make tough decisions. Days before water shortage, Dixmoor laid off most of its public works employees. COVID-19 vaccines for kids 5 to 11, U of C medicine doctor to answer parents' questions on Facebook Live. 3 people report being drugged at off-campus gatherings in Evanston, according to Northwestern Alert. The following headlines are from phys.org. Image, Hubble gets galactic déjà vu. Riverbeds that can shift naturally are more efficient carbon sinks than straightened rivers. Brazil scientists test frozen jaguar semen to help species. Detector advance could lead to cheaper, easier medical scans. Is it worth trying to sway the most staunch climate deniers? A better way to raise chickens for low-intensity, small stakeholders. WA shipwreck reveals secrets of 17th-century Dutch seafaring domination. Honeybees use social distancing to protect themselves against parasites. Building planets from protoplanetary disks. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Saturday, October 30th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. Eco-friendly, environmentally conscious, sustainable, more than just buzzwords with these shoes. Poop-derived fruits are known to grow in sewage plants. The 25 best CBD oils for sale. The moon in your mood. From clowns to buttons, these weird phobias afflict many people. Here's how anesthesia affects your brain. Best testosterone supplements, 5 top products. Why we love fall so much. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Suspect in shooting of Oklahoma deputy found dead. Chicago City worker vaccine mandate survives repeal effort. Coronavirus Daily News Updates, October 30th, what to know today about COVID-19 in the Seattle area, Washington State and the world. Prison gerrymandering endures in Nevada, despite law. Bears coach Matt North to miss 49ers game because of COVID-19. Man with gunshot wound found dead in Magnolia parking lot, Seattle police investigating. Giving the Western some swagger in the harder they fall. England puts Australia in 2-bad in T20 World Cup clash. A post-Trump test for Democrats looms in Virginia election. Tacoma police arrest man, 22, suspected of fatally shooting 4 people. The following headlines are from mercurynews.com. Man fatally shot in East Oakland. Bay Area High School football roundup, best of the weekend action in Week 10. High school football, Clayton Valley hands Monte Vista its first loss, claims at least a share of Ebel Mountain title. Photos, Bay Area High School football, Week 10. In a post-pandemic world, how will Milpitas create a vibrant business district? The latest, climate protesters block road near Rome summit. What about husband of jailed Los Gatos party mom facing teen booze, sex charges? Editorial, Texas abortion law would recreate Wild West law enforcement. Opinion, funding to fight hate crime is a start, but actions matter, too. High school football, De La Salle rolls past Amador Valley. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Navy must accelerate shipbuilding, modernization to keep pace with Chinese, Russian fleets, analysts. For 112-year-old veteran's daughter, care is a labor of love. Anderson, Braves 2-hitter takes 2-1 series lead versus Astros. South Korean send off former President Roh in small funeral. 4 dead, 11 hurt in crash of SUV carrying migrants in Texas. Supreme Court upholds Maine's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. Weakness arouses evil, Mike Pence slams Biden's Iran policy, says U.S. enemies emboldened. Rachel Christie gets win at University of Houston, days after lawsuit is filed. Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz bag Lori Smith, Christian website designer seeking Supreme Court hearing. Glenn Youngkin accuses Terry McAuliffe campaign of staging white supremacist actors at event. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Uber patents reveal experiments with predictive algorithms to identify risky drivers. Cases over far-right violence show limits and opportunities for anti-fascism in the courts. At inquiry into NYPD killing of Eric Garner, judge lets Bill de Blasio off the hook. Congress outmatched by oil executives at what was meant to be a defining hearing. Democrats find their Big Pharma bag is making it inconvenient to take on Big Pharma. How to cancel $3.2 million of debt for 20,000 people who went through the carceral system. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Jury awards more than $25 million to man wrongfully convicted in 1994 Southside double murder. Stat machine Joshua Franklin leads Crete-Monian to state playoffs. One of the biggest games of Matt Nagy's career will take place without him. New leadership can help save Balboa Prairie. Why didn't the Fire play Lukas Stojanovic more this season? Astros' experience was the difference versus White Sox in American League Division Series, Yasmani Grandal says. Michael Mayer is a monster on the loose for Notre Dame. A fond farewell to Ed Galvin, the high school basketball coach I carried with me all these years. Key players in Kyle Rittenhouse trial include judge with reputation for being stern. What is the Cubs' biggest need this offseason? The next headlines are from the Times of India. J&K, 2 Army personnel killed in mystery blast near LOC. IPL, BCCI sets Rs 90 crore salary burst. T20 Miller Blitzkrieg Power say to 4-wicket win. Sri Lanka's Hasaranga claims third hat-trick of T20 Diwali offer, go premium with Toy Plus at 50% off. PM Modi meets Biden, other world leaders at G20 summit. No back-end talks with Congress, Amrinder Singh. Up, 3 more IF personnel test positive for Zika virus. China's latest COVID outbreak developing rapidly. T20 World Cup live score, Australia vs England. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Astros bats go silent in 2-0 loss to Braves. Particular brilliance, Veronica St. Clair. Toro beefs up downtown, Chivas hits heights. Houston's International Quilt Festival 2021. Rams invade NRG Stadium looking to throttle Texans. Things to do, the best things to eat and drink in Houston this weekend. Things to do, the War and Treaty at Toyota Center. Midnight Mass, a standout horror series on Netflix. The next headlines are about world records making news. Asher doubles up on world record performances on day 2 in Sheffield, the home of swimming.org. Group of 288 Cy-Fair ISD swimmers and coaches break Guinness World Record, Houston Chronicle. Gene Chack Berkshire Woods and Waters, fishermen look to Labrador for potential world record brook trout, Berkshire Eagle. Acreage by Stem Cider shoots for record-setting cider power, Boulder Daily Camera. Z students helping to break Guinness World Record with kindness chain, Tulsa World. More records fall as first day of racing at Masters Nationals finishes, the home of swimming.org. World's first climate-positive Bitcoin, Mago sets world record, World Record Academy. Watch Kyle Chalmers' historic 44.84 100 free world record, SwimSwam. 17-year-old David Popovasi puts up 46.77 Romanian record in SCM 100 free, SwimSwam. FINA World Cup, Diacedo sets cup record in 200 IM, Swimming World Magazine. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. The Venture Brothers movie gets an exciting update. Somehow Adolf Hitler has received a COVID vaccine passport in the EU. Daisy Ridley will deal a new sci-fi drug in the upcoming Mindfall. Halloween star PJ Souls looks back at her totally iconic death scene. The Supreme Court may screw us over on climate, too. The apple polishing cloth is everything wrong with society. UK smokers could soon get prescriptions for e-cigarettes. LG TVs will now automatically disable the dreaded motion smoothing for Prime Video. This week's best toys are the ultimate fright for your wallet. FDA authorizes Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for kids age 5 to 11. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Sitiki in Swaziland at 119.48 degrees Fahrenheit or 48.6 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Vostok in Antarctica at minus 71.68 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 57.6 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. LiDAR reveals hundreds of long-lost Maya and Olmec ceremonial centers. Spiders are much smarter than you think. Fossil fuels doomed in New York as regulator blocks new gas power plants. Microsoft reclaims title of most valuable public company after Apple falls. Pirate site operator hacked MLB and tried to extort $150,000, feds say. FDA authorizes Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for children 5-11. John Carmack issues some words of warning for Meta and its metaverse plans. 2021 MacBook Pro review. Yep, it's what you've been waiting for. There are ominous portents of the end of days in The Witcher S2 trailer. Children poisoned by birthday cake decorations loaded with lead, copper. The following headlines are from Raw Story. Terror plot threat leads to increased police presence in Northern Virginia, CNN. Bombshell report revealed how Trump and Eastman tried to leverage the Capitol riot to pressure Mike Pence. Trump's brand is stagnant as his businesses continue to lose money, report. Eastman reveals disagreement in Trump camp on best way to maintain presidency. Updated Trump Train 911 transcripts reveal Texas cops refuse to send escort to Biden bus. Halloween means trick, not treat, for some children. Plan B pills and trips out of state, South Texans adapt to near-total abortion ban. Expert, jailing Capitol rioters together could lead to a new American terror group. The seedy crimes of the obscenely rich are routinely ignored. Russia imposes nationwide paid holiday to curb COVID. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Big oil climate denial hearing features even more denial. The UN's big climate summit is ignoring a giant red flag. For a decade, Elizabeth Warren waged war against a student debt Goliath. She finally won. Finally, it's your COP26 End of the World playlist. He was a board member of the Oath Keepers. Now, he's holding state-approved trainings for law enforcement in Texas. Work is so bad that people are quitting in droves. We should see that as a good thing. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. UFOs and UAP, history, sightings and mysteries, space.com. Newly published, From the Extraterrestrial to East Jersey State Prison, The New York Times. The following items are today's top search results for the term neural plasticity. Aptenics, APTX, gains 1.36% for October 29. Equities.com. A new model for how the brain perceives unique odors. Pen Today. Best Adderall alternatives, top natural OTC Adderall pills to buy, Seattle Weekly. Prize winner reveals hunger's role in perception and behavior, Uric Alert. The next items are the top results for news about longevity and immortality. What if people no longer want to live forever? The Swaddle. The future of longevity lies with digital currency visionaries, Cointelegraph. Can we defeat death? Financial Times. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Saturday, October 30th, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Alien space probes could already be in our solar system. Australia will not officially investigate UFOs UAP. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Saturday, October 30th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News i8. All rights reserved.